Hi all, this is Deb at Dat Doings, and I would like to welcome you to my studio. Thank you for all the new subscribers and bearing with me as I start up my channel again. And I want to thank Sue Hiles for offering this open collaboration to give me the motivation. You can find her on hashtag Crafty Clusters if you're unfamiliar with guidelines for what it is we're doing here. In my background you can see 3 clusters that I've built before, just to give you some idea of the kind of sizes I typically make. And the one today that I'm going to be working, the ones I'm going to be working on today will be between 1 inch to 2 inches, but here's one that's almost 3 inches, and I have some others that I may be showing you later that are even bigger. So let's get started. For this project that I would like to do, I just want to give you a rough rundown of how I assemble my clusters. It's no real rocket science, I suppose. I usually glue mine, and so I have to have a substrate. And you know, there are no rules to this, so you can use anything you want. And I think I pretty much have done it all as far as substrates. But here, just to get started, are some lightweight cardstock circles, and you know, they're like 1 inch and 1.5 inches. You'll notice that this one I've buffed off with my emery board, just gone around the edge and gotten it roughed up. And the reason for that is that if you have a smooth surface and you're trying to glue to it, sometimes it doesn't work so well. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to be using this quick dry fabric fusion that's made by Alene. I've just become familiar with it recently, and I really do like it. It's comparable to several other things on the market. The reason I'm really enjoying it the most is because it dries so much quicker, and you don't have a lot of reset time. Now, for this purpose of just demonstration, I'm just going to glue some things on here because, you know, anything kind of goes, and I'm likely to just put anything together. So let's see. Here's a scrap of trim that I had left over from some Halloween snippet roll. So I'm going to just stick that on. So that's lace and ribbon. I think I'll add just a smidge more of lace maybe in the background too. Let's see. I'll stick that right there, I think. And then, oh, this looks very festive. That's a little piece of ribbon. Maybe I want to bring some of that to the forefront, but maybe I don't. I think I'm gonna, I see a little circle here I've got. Oh, it's got connected. It's got a friend. Whoops. It's got a friend with it. You can just see I'm using random snippets that I have collected. And then, let's see here. I wonder if we can put one more thing. Oh, I really didn't mean to do that, but, well, okay. So it looks like we've got remem started. So I guess perhaps I want to remem something. Let's see. Probably remember. Okay, where I can put this. Oh, there. That's where. I'm going to put it right there. Okay, so I'm going to just... If I go out of screen, I apologize. You just have to put up with my own old womanly ways. And I'm thinking this is kind of handy. Yeah, I've got a little granddaughter that's going to be thinking about all this. I don't know if I want that on there. I'd have to cover that. Oh, well, why not? Let's go for it. Okay, blue button, sorry. You're going to get covered up and be the substrate for this little charmer here. So that's how we do that. Okay, that works. There we go. So there we have a, what are these things called? Tiny cluster. All right, a tiny cluster. So this actually measures right at, I think, 2 inches. Yep, pretty darn close. Yep, basically that'd be a 2-inch cluster. So let's put that one there. Whoops. There's our 2-inch cluster. Okay, now I've been working on a book, a teeny tiny book, and last night I made this cluster. And something I wanted to point out to you about flat clusters, you know, these two are pretty close to the same size, but I wanted to point out, look how this is all paper and it looks so flat. Well, that's great, and you know, for what I'm maybe going to put it in at some point, I may need that flatness. But this one has a little more depth because I've raised up and used a chipboard item, and then I've stacked it on top of lace and artificial leaves and things that I've grouped, and even a little piece of cording. But the real thing I wanted you to notice is something last night that I pulled out of my drawer, that out of my pocket, something that I hadn't used in a lot of years, to add some gloss, and that is diamond glaze. Oh yeah, but because I used diamond glaze, it needed to dry, so I went ahead and assembled this last night. I was going to do it with you, but I wanted to just say, don't forget to check your arsenal, because I think we a lot of times think of like glitter as a real good resource, but you know, there are just other possibilities. Another thing that I wanted to share with you was that when I'm at my sewing machine making these kinds of things, I might just use all kinds of substrates. I think we normally think of things like ribbon, and so this was a stack of just things that I had cluttering my cut off trims, and I just stitched them on there. And something that I've discovered on my own, not that you might not have discovered it too, but when I stitch these, one of the things I try to remember is to sew at a diagonal. And you can see that I went back and restitched this at different times, because I really do find that's a real good way to do things. And then when I want to cut this, and I want to make this into a 1 inch instead of a 2 inch, I'm just kind of looking here, I want to do this, then see what will happen when I cut this in that 1 inch spot is I've gotten the benefit of something that's going to catch most of the things that are there, and I end up with 2 very tiny 1 inchers. Okay, and of course I could go ahead and put something more, if I wanted to, on these. You know, here's a little bitsy pine cone. Let's put that on. I haven't done these kind of things for so long, I've kind of forgotten what I'm doing in terms of cameras and everything else. I guess it's what it is. Okay, so there you can see, and it looks to me like this is a little big, so I'm going to cut it off right here. I think it's just annoying, But on the other hand, I've lost, I think my hand floated over, didn't it? If you lost me, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just kind of scratching at this because I want to try to rough that up a little bit. There we go. I like that better. Okay, so now we have that. And it's down to 1 inch. Okay, so this one, I kind of think that's cool. I like that. I think I'm going to leave it just like it is. So that's how a lot of times I can take something bigger and literally just cut it in half. And I can also tell you, because I'm the world's worst about hanging on to snips and odds and ends of things that I pick up off the street when I go for a walk and all kinds of things, and then bring them back and stick them. Oh, true confession time. You know, I'll take them and I put things in bags. Okay, it's terrible. I have a real fetish for this, but I can tell you that I know that some of the best things that I find are just all around me. And, yeah, God forbid I throw anything away. But anyway, all those treasures, they just make you want to get in here and make something with me. And I have big things too, but I collect things, you know, in bags, and keep them for later on. Excuse me. But back to this, what I wanted to say about it is, then when it comes time to sew these things, this one was sewn on a piece of brown paper sack. But the thing of it is, you know, it's like, now I've got something I can work with, and I can keep it this length in one of my bags of, I also, let me put it this way, I also use I have fabric cluster bags for storage, and so something like this might get put in one of those. And then, you know, sometime when I'm sitting around a TV or just hanging out in the studio, I might pull that cluster bag out and work some more of it by, you know, cutting it. But the problem I run into is, because I'm so crazy about all this nonsensy, most people would call junk, I see it as, you know, like a treasure, and so then I don't want to get rid of it, and I want to cut this, but oh dear. So I don't know exactly what I might be using it on. Maybe something that is coming up, and I just don't know when I might need it. I don't know if I need it this size or smaller. And then it can start into a mind game about, should I cut it or not? Well, if I really see that I'm low on 1 inches, and this is a 2 inches, well, guess what? I need to just get serious and cut it. Well, if I absolutely cannot make myself decide how to go about cutting this, you know what I do? I just turn it over. I get my scissors. I see where my stitch lines are, kind of judge and study where the most of it is at on this side, and then I just cut. And I make it into 2 things. But I'm actually not going to do that right now, because I do have a plan for this particular cluster, but I'm going to use this one instead, because I thought it might hold more interest for you anyway. But this is, you know, that Butterfinger. I shouldn't have used a brand name, I bet. But anyway, you know what it is. Anyway, this has a lot of stitching lines on it, so I'm just going to see if I can, I'm going to gauge about, well, this is about 1 inch. And you see I'm just randomly cutting. And this is about 1 inch. I don't know what we're going to end up with. Okay, we're going to take a look and see. Okay, let's hold it this way so we can see how it unfolds. Alright, so we're going to lose a petal. That's okay, that goes into fodder. Now we've got something to work with on this. Everything's attached. Pull that apart. There. This one's all attached. I'm pretty sure I can find things to do with that. And you see, I can also I could trim this off if I didn't want it that long, but I might leave it that long and enjoy it. Or I might just leave it exactly as it is. And then, you know, here's another one, a little piece of yarn fell off, so I'm going to put that at something random. Now, look, here's an acorn, broken acorn, and I could just attach that and have that be the start of something. Or maybe if you're more into stamps or, gosh, just any number of things. I'm into everything, so it doesn't much matter. But anyway, I think you get the drift. You know, you can just add whatever you want to, or if it goes along with a project you're working on, maybe, you know, you need to add some specific items. I don't know what we should put down on this mat so you can remember. Maybe, I don't know, let's put this. We'll put this over here. Whoops. Okay, so far, this is what we've got. I'm going to see if I can show you from a top view. Those are just some fast and deadly kind of ideas, okay? Now, I'm going to move these things and show you some applications, because I think that's always what people are honestly looking for and think it's fun to see. And I'm going to start with this little simple one that we did already. Put that ruler up there where I don't lose it. Okay, you know, I like to get the brown paper and envelope packs, or make my own. It doesn't matter. Just the other day I sent something out, and I usually emboss, use my embossing folders and emboss, but for this purpose, today I just left this plain, but I wanted to just show you, and you know, it's just fun because now I've got, see, I could put that on the corner of this with a little bit touch of glue and put it in the envelope, and I've got a gift. But I've also got a place to write. So that's just another, you know, thought about cluster usage. Okay, let's see. First things first, I guess. I'm kind of crazy about, well, I am crazy about things like bookmarks and paper clips. And so, you know, you can say what you want, but honestly, paper clips, this is nothing but a piece of lace that I just stuck on there. And, you know, I can make a cluster out of this real quick by just adding some objects and gluing them on. And I can do that with a piece of paper behind it to cover the back side. That's, you know, who's to say that when we decorate paper clips, we're really not aren't we really building clusters? I think so. But then, you know, another thing about things that we have around us, well, this is a paper clip bookmark I made. I use it all the time. But the artist who made this graphic, I think they already made it into a cluster for me. I don't need to add a thing. But if I wanted to, I could, let's see what I can find here. I could, you know, I could add a band of something. I could add some texture, glue that on, and look it, I've got a cluster started. Oh my goodness. You see how quick you can build a cluster? Okay. Now, another thing I wanted to show you would be what I was working on. Well, let's wait on that. Okay, here's another recent bookmark that I learned how to make from Pam at the Paper Outpost. And if you haven't been over to her channel, it's a great one. But about 2 weeks ago, she taught how to make these expandable bookmarks. Oh, they are wonderful. I love them, and I've had so much fun making some. See, they're like, well, maybe here I can give you a high shot. Hold on. Yep, there's one side of it. And if we close it up, see how it accordion pleats? And if you turn it over to the back side and you open it up, you'll have two writing surfaces. Oops, sorry. Management issues here. See how that works? It's hard to do this with one hand, but you get the idea, I'm sure. Okay, now let's look here a little deeper since we're talking application, maybe tiny clusters. See that tiny cluster? There's a little bit of lace, a stamped bird, a set of birds on a piece of notebook paper attached to, and all of that's attached to a raggedy piece of a reading book page, and then just glued down. All those layers were glued down, and the most important piece is my background piece. And I didn't put this small cluster in exactly the perfect spot for a piece of great art, but this is great art. That's my kindergarten grandchild's cutting, a display of cutting and coloring that I never want to forget, and I love it because it reminds me to always say my prayers about her. Anyway, now see up here at the top, I think this is like a, to me, it's like having I put a pocket in my, whoops, what happened here? Oh, I put a pocket in this so that I kind of have an interactive bookmark cluster, because behind this on the back side I have a small cluster, and I deliberately, put it up higher so it kind of shows over the top a little bit. See, and here, this is a cluster, and then we've got kind of a collage going on here, you see? And this, by the way, for those of you who like polymer clay, this is a polymer clay rose that I made, and it's been through all kinds of wear and tear, and you can see I just glued it on into my cluster. So if you've got a lot of polymer remnants around, don't hesitate to use them. Let's see, I thought I had it. Oh, I know where the other cluster is. Hiding. Okay, here at the top. I had a piece of scrap left over from the other side, and I had put it up here just flat, didn't know what I was going to do, and I went through my clusters that I had made ahead in one of my sacks that I stash them in, and lo and behold, here's this thing. And so it's like, oh, that works. I'm going to just put that down. And so it brought it all together, or at least I think it did. Maybe you don't, but I like it. Anyway, so there's a look at a bookmark with clusters. Clusters, clusters, clusters. Okay, now let's see. And by the way, this, okay, we're talking tiny, so I have to do this. But this cluster here, you see, is really only an inch. Okay, now then, whereas this one started out as an inch cluster, but then I put it on top of another item, and so now, this is all together like 2 inches long. Okay? All right. I think you get the point. Let's see some more show and tell, Deb. Come on. All right, so this is the little book that I have been assembling. It stands freely on its own, but it has 10 pages. It's a 10-page book. And see down here, I've started to make a cluster here with cardboard, and I don't know yet what I am going to add to this. Probably some lace or something. It hasn't shown up yet. I just am not ready to do that. But inside we've got all kinds of pages, and right here I'm getting ready to put a cluster on top of this. I thought this would be a good home for a cluster on this sticker. Alright, so let's build it real quick. Let's build quick. I've started on it a little bit. I had to alter. This is a bird that I don't even remember what color it was. I guess it was brown. And I painted it with some black paint. And it sparkles, still shows through, which is nice. You know, that's a good thing. Then I took just a half-inch dot of paper that was white on one side, green on the other. It was just some scrap. And I've glued some random pieces of this paper shred and just a scrap that I had from a fall leaf. And I've built up some more of these little dots with some more of this shred. Okay, here we go. Nothing real rocket science about this. And I wanted to, excuse me, I have to get this. I wanted to just show you. See, this is what I started with, and I just decided I want the green to show through if it's going to show through. And then I will glue some of these together. So, here's the thing. I'm going to take my dauber with some coffee dye, and I'm just going to go roughly over some of the edges of these that I've already previously glued. I don't know how much of this I'm going to actually end up using, but I'm going to do it all at once so it's done. And I just kind of want to let some of the texture show. Alright, so now let me get my my real glue here, my Aleene's glue. And I want to make this become a nest for this little bird. So I'm going to start with this piece that I'd already kind of glued. And I think I want that probably to be, looks like I might need to take this little dot. Whoa! This little dot. Oh, well, we're going to swing with it. Okay. There. Don't you love it? Yep. Anyway, we'll just take that and maybe add that here. And why is this falling over? Oh, I know. Oh, all the asides, isn't it great? And that little glue here. Stick that together. Hopefully this will make a nice birdie bed. This Aleene's glue really is great stuff, but it really means what it says. It doesn't give you a lot of time to play. So you have to work quickly. But that's why I choose to use it today, because this is one of those times when I need, for all practical purposes, to be as fast as I can. Okay, now I think I'm ready to put this in the, oops, this has an adhesive dot. Oh no, that's my, excuse me, that's my, those are my dots, my paper dots that I built on top of. Okay, so now you can see what it's become. I got a little bit of, there he is. I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to try to find a good place to place this. I think right in here ought to be pretty good. So there we have it. Yeah, I think that's just fine. What do you think? Okay. I need to slide it down. I've got just a little bit. There. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I take that clip off. I know where I'm at. And I want to push that together firmly and hold it for just a couple of seconds because the this glue dries so fast, but I want to be sure that I got that to stick. Okay, so there we got it. Now over on this page is where I was gonna, this little gal is gonna go right here. Okay, she's gonna complement this spread. So yeah, I think we'll just go ahead, since we're here, I think we'll just go ahead and put some glue on her backside. And as you can see, I just built that on top of this glue last night. On top of this lace, excuse me. Word finding problems. Okay, let's get over here. You know, okay. So I think we want that about right there. Let's see, what do we think? Does it look active enough? Yeah, I think so. I like that. And again, I'm just going to hold that for a few seconds. And I'm going to take the clip off. And we're done. See how quick that goes? I just love that glue. It's just fantastic. Okay, so that gives you some idea. And the other page I wanted to show you too is this one, because this is also a polymer tile that I made, and sometimes if you're a polymer clay person, you end up with just scads of little tiles, and I thought, well, this is a good place to put that. I think so. I just took a scrap of paper, a piece of lace, and put that on, and in so doing, I don't know if you can appreciate it, but right here in this lace, yeah, there he is, I can see an intrinsic owl sitting atop something, and so later on today I may use my pen and ink to fix that little bird to show up more. And down here, see how I can see a fish? Yeah, that's all just paper and dye. And so again, I like to take things that I see intrinsically and make them into things. So this probably is going to become a very long-tailed fish before it's all over. Anyway, so yeah, that's the way this little book's turning out. And I hope to get it shipped off to a friend later this week. Okay, so that's that. And with it, I made this little miniature bookmark made just like that other one I showed you that was from Pam's idea. And this is the fold out on one side, and you see I made a cluster here. And see how nice that diamond glaze just adds another dimension. This is a little dried flower, by the way. So I've got a lace back base on top of paper and some washi tape coming, radiating down, and then the chipboard piece and a dry piece of flour, a dry flower. And then the diamond glaze just gives, you know, dimension, which is so helpful sometimes. And then I just added another complementary piece of the chipboard to the back. And let's see, I showed you the front, so let me show you the back, I guess. There, the middle. There, and that's the middle of the... And the reason for the lines, by the way, is so that if you want to put this bookmark in a book, you can take notes, you know, or write down vocabulary words that you find, or, you know, who knows? It just depends on what the book's about and what you want to remember, I guess. And, you know, I'm big on notes and things, so this appeals to me. But anyway, what's nice about this is these really do stay closed on their own. You don't have to have a magnet or anything. Really, really slick and so easy peasy to make. All right, so, well, I think we've done a pretty good job of clusters, but I wanted to do one more quick one. I just want to show you, I have this dilemma. Sometimes I get really carried away and makes just random bits go together with no rhyme or reason or whatever. And this one I pulled out and I thought, can I salvage this somehow? And you can see it's got napkin and crossword puzzles and I don't know. It just doesn't it just look floppy gloppy? I don't know. But I'm thinking there might be a way I can turn this in to something that I might like better. So I'm checking where the stitch lines are on this, and I think I'm going to cut, I think I'll cut right through here. Wish me luck. I'm sure you've, oh, we're in luck. Oh, look, that stayed. Now where are we, let's see, let's measure this. Where are we at right now? Oops. Right now this is 3 inches. Well, gosh, that's not too big. Yeah. Now I wonder if I cut it again, and I cut it about right here. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I like it. And see, everything stayed together. But you know what? This one right here, I have a friend who loves crossword puzzles, and I'm thinking, hey, let's get one of these out. Let's see how that looks. That could be kind of fun. Yeah, I think so. Let's do that. All right, so that already has adhesive on the back. I'm just going to go with that and add some more for more security. And I think I want to put it positionally like this. Yeah, I think so. And then, I don't know, I need to find a word. So I'm sure I can find a word from the newspaper or something. I see something right here. This was on my, excuse me just a moment as I grab this really quick. See what I found? Just tore this off a magazine ad. So let's see if we can get this Oktoberfest. I guess I must be thinking fall, huh? Wonder if that'd fit there. Oh, it won't. But guess what? I just thought of something. I'm going to be in big need here in a few days. I'm going to need some October things for my journal. Ho, ho, ho. I like it. I like it. Oh, I wonder if I could tuck that back in there. Oh, it would show. I wonder if I could do... Maybe I could tuck that down. Stick that here. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Okay. Let me see here. See if we've got enough coffee brown on here. You know, I think I might ought to trim that off just a little bit. I think I like that better. Okay, so we went with the idea of something for a friend to something for me, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that'll remind me of her, and then I'll make something for her during the month of October to send in the mail. Don't you love to send things in Happy Mail? I do. And you know, this is a great example of what I love to do. I love to make things like this and then stick them on a paper clip or stick them on a note card or, oh gosh, you know, anything and everything. It's crazy. I know it's kind of a fetish, isn't it? Okay, how's that looking? Let's see if we could tuck that in like that. Yeah, I think I like that. Now let's just see. I think I might need some glimmer. But see where we're at? 2 inches this way. Oh, sorry. We could do some more trim work on that and probably get it to a 1 inch if we had to, but I don't have any need to do that. And you see, we can go tiny. And if you're, I'm not so much into glam as some people. But you know, I could see I could put, oh yeah, I could do that, couldn't I? Look there. One of those dark ones. Yeah, maybe I could do that. Maybe I could make myself be glamorous. Here, let's see if I can get this off. Not on camera, I can't. I have to do this later. Okay, so just know I'm going to add a little bit of shine right there. See? I'm going to put it right in there, and that'll just kind of perk it up a little smidge. And that's what it'll look like. There'll just be one of those on there. Okay? Alright, so that was another idea I had, right? Alright, one more thing and then, yeah, one more thing and then one more thing. That's the way I kind of run. Okay, real quick here. We'll go to the fun thing here of my, I'm going to try to show you a few fast examples of out of my own junk book. Here's a cluster right here. I have to tuck here, and here's my, I'm sorry, here's my ruler. Let's see, this is actually 3 inches, and I have cards that I can tuck in here. I don't want to show you particularly what they are, but you get the idea. And so that becomes a part of the page. And let's see. Got, here's a, you know, we were talking about, can have some really big ones. I don't know. This is almost a full page, and some people would just call, oh, that's collage. But you know what? When I put this down, the whole thing was, you could transport it and I could have stored it because it was built on paper towel. And so just know those things are all connected. Also, another quickie thing I wanted to show you is this. You know, here's a hangover, and here's a smaller cluster that I put on this card so that, you know, it's two-faced, sewn shut at the top, across here, and then it has a pocket here and a pocket on the back, and then it just can clamp over my yeah. And there's my, there it is. Well, I've enjoyed this little bit of showing you my idea of some clusters, and I look forward to next week when we work on some more. And I guess I might ought to start looking through here. Here's some clusters I've got started for maybe some holidays. I don't know. We'll have to see what shows up next week. But these are tiny. They're only an inch. Oh my. Only an inch? Yipes. Only an inch. Okay, guys. Have a great time. Bye.